We finally have the news that many Pistons fans have been waiting for. The now former Pistons GM, Troy Weaver, has officially been fired as the new president of basketball operations, Trajan Langdon, continues to leave his imprint on this organization. And this was a big move. This is a move that I expected. I think many Pistons fans expected this. The first move to be made was firing Troy Weaver. And as a president of basketball operations, I think it's well aware anybody in a leadership role, when you're brought in to a situation or you're brought into a business that isn't doing well, you want your guys in place. That is a big thing with anybody. And that's why I never fault any GM for coming into an organization and getting rid of who's there currently, especially when something's not working. And this is a hell of a move by Trajan Langdon. I absolutely love this. I think the storyline of Troy Weaver from when he first got here to kind of trying to turn the roster around, drafting through the draft and drafting talent. And by talent, I mean, missing on a couple picks as well. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. There's a couple guys that we look at and like, okay, they're good players. But the biggest flaw with Troy Weaver is roster construction. That has been, and that really is one of the biggest things for any GM. You got to be able to construct a roster, and Troy just has not been able to do so. And being patient and not being more aggressive came back to bite him in the ass. And I'm happy it's over now. The search for a new general manager will begin. The next move that we will be waiting on is whether or not Monty Williams stays as the Detroit Pistons head coach. And I know a lot of Pistons fans are already waiting for that move to be announced, that he's fired as well. But you got to think too, in this, again, I'm not absolving Monty from any blame, but this is just my opinion on it. And you guys can hate me for it. It is what it is, but this is my opinion. I think Monty Williams, he is not perfect. There are certain things that he did wrong last year that frustrated the hell out of me, whether it was Asar Thompson, at the beginning of the year playing well, and then towards the end of the year being yanked from the rotation, or Jaden Ivey, same kind of thing. He's getting yanked and he's playing, and now he's not playing, and then at the end of the year he's playing. It didn't really make sense. But we look at Monty as a head coach and we think, okay, he can obviously coach. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. But whether or not you want him fired, just think about this for a second. You're asking this man to cook with what ingredients? Like this roster as a whole is just bad. Like, we got to be consistent here. If Troy Weaver is getting fired for not being able to construct a roster correctly, why are we going to get mad at the head coach that can't coach a roster that's not constructed correctly? And again, there's really no vets on this roster. And that should be a big goal heading into this offseason is getting older. Like, yeah, you got some players you like. I mean, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, Ivy, Asar. But what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And that should really be on Trajan Langdon's mind. So for Monty, I'm willing to give him a year. Give him a year, or hell, I wouldn't say 2, but some may say 2. Just give him another year. See how this goes. Because I do believe if Trajan Langdon was going to fire Monty, it would have already happened. It would have happened with Troy Weaver. He would have fired them both. Tom Gores already came out and said that he was okay with eating that contract, which, again, Tom Gores isn't perfect either. But that's impressive for him willing to eat that money. He's okay with Monty being gone. He understands, hey, Trajan Langdon, you're the president of basketball operations. You're the leader, essentially. So if you make a move, I will back you up. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. There's still time. I would say give him a year. I'm curious what you guys think, and you could roast me in the comments if you disagree. Because I understand both angles on it. For me, it's, okay, you fire him, who you bringing in? You want to bring in Kenny Atkinson? Okay, I'll listen. But I don't think Monty Williams, and maybe his heart's not in it. That's certainly an argument. Maybe he's not fully invested. He had outside things going on when he was first hired. So maybe his heart's not fully in it, but I don't have that answer. So for me, I'm willing to give Monty another year. Troy Weaver, his time absolutely had to end. There's no argument left for him. You can't let that man have another draft in Detroit in an offseason, really. In an offseason, spending money. You just can't. So kudos to Trajan Langdon for having the balls to come in and be like, all right, you're out of here. Because he earned a lot of respect from, I'm sure, a lot of Pistons fans, from me specifically. I do respect Trajan Langdon. And I'm curious what the next move is. Because really the biggest question that I think he's going to have to answer is whether you keep Monty Williams or not. And what do you do this offseason? Do you try and make a big trade? Do you just spend money and keep the young core together? At this point, it's too early to say, do I trust Trajan Langdon? But he did the right thing. He did the right thing. Let's be honest here. This team is years away from being competitive. We understand that. It's going to take some time. So the first thing that you have to do as a president of basketball operations is get the poison out. Get the bad apples out. And Troy Weaver, he is one of those bad apples. He just had to go. And I think fighting a fan in the crowd verbally was the last straw. So I'm completely okay with this. But I'm curious what you guys think on just the Troy Weaver being fired and Monty Williams, whether or not you'd give him another year. Again, I'm not going to be mad at you if you want to say get rid of him now. But I'm curious, if you do think they should get rid of him, give me the next answer, or give me the answer. Who are you bringing in to be the next head coach? I'm curious. I'm not just saying that to be condescending. I'm genuinely curious. For me, I'd give him another year. But we'll see. Busy offseason ahead for Trajan Langdon, and we'll be covering it all here on Crunch Time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. It does support us and helps the video get into the algorithm and other videos as well. So until our live show, which is going to be tonight at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., I'll catch you then.